Hey, how? Okay, sorry about that. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Anime4ALL podcast.
Hello.
We are here. Alter
Yes,
and
we're
Spirit
here.
Magic Helmet with that voice that he's doing. I'm very concerned about his diet. I don't
It's
know why.
very confusing.
I don't know why his diet specifically. Okay, so 2 weeks ago, for anybody listening to this in the future or now, I had the brilliant idea, and that's a brilliant idea, trying to talk about all about Dragon Ball Z, all Dragon Ball is in its entirety, all in one podcast. We only really got a chance to talk about two. And then Jock had Spear had the actually more brilliant idea of maybe we
I'm
should
so
just
brilliant.
inflated ego over here. But well, like maybe we should talk about, we didn't get you to talk about everything, every little small thing on about Dragon Ball or Dragon Ball Z, and we probably weren't going to be able to. And I feel like maybe this is a good opportunity to start up I guess, Dragon Ball appreciation, and we're just going to talk about each series, um, per episode for how long this lasts. It may go back really quickly because I don't know when my hero's coming back, so we may be long done with this appreciation before then. Who knows? Only time can tell. And if the Nintendo Switch 2 itself takes over my life on June 5th, we will all know. But with that being said, time to begin our first bit of Dragon Ball appreciation with the original Dragon Ball series, the thing that Akira Toriyama made to make a backstory for his beloved main character, Son Goku. Dragon Ball, basically, just an overview of Dragon Ball before you actually get into nitty and gritty and talk about what we want to, what we want to pick apart or gush over.
We're gonna get into nitty gritty.
I mean, if we can.
That's
So,
hot.
um, so just a basic overview. Dragon Ball itself is, for anybody who doesn't know, I don't know who wouldn't know. If you do, well, I don't know where you've been, but get on that. Watch Dragon Ball, everything from Dragon Ball all the way up to Daima. Some people probably argue don't watch GT. I'd say I actually watch GT. I think you get an appreciation. But Dragon Ball itself is the, as I said before, it's like the background for Son Goku about what he was like when he was a little kid. A lot of characters in Dragon Ball Z show up here except for Gohan because Gohan's his son. Wait, does Gohan show up in Dragon? No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. I think for the most part, a large part of the Dragon Ball cast, Dragon Ball Z cast, is in Dragon Ball. I can't think of anyone who isn't, besides Gohan. Oh, and Vegeta. I wonder what Vegeta was doing during this part of like the show, because I wonder like what was going on in space at that time. Random ideas. But yeah, it's just basically following him as a kid up till he's a teenager until he marries Chi-Chi. In this video, we'll probably have a talk about the whole situation with Goku, Bulma, and Chi-Chi. To just spark the whole really weird discussion, but we'll touch on it here. But I think that's about it. Like we can take apart or go into any part of Dragon Ball we want. I guess what I want to point out is like Goku as a character. This is probably, this was the beginning of everything we know about him. He was probably way more crafty as a person in this particular part of his life versus later on when, it was all the Kamehameha, because even before then he didn't have the Kamehameha. He kind of just suddenly learned it because he just pretended to do Kamehameha. It was a tiny thing that he did when he learned it from Master Roshi, and Master Roshi was convinced that he wasn't going to be able to do it. I think that was actually when they introduced Ki into the show, because I think before then there was no concept of actual Ki in Dragon Ball until Master Roshi came into play. But the first show starts off with Goku, Bulma, later Yamcha, Puar, Oolong. That's the main cast, basically. I guess what do you think of the whole idea that I guess like Goku and Bulma's first interaction was Bulma trying to get the Dragon Ball that he was protecting and calling his grandpa the entire time?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you think of that whole thing? Or just
Which part specifically?
No, I mean just the beginning. Whenever Bulma and Goku's first interaction, which led to the adventures that they would have later on in the show.
You mean the beginning of the romance that we're not going to talk about?
I wouldn't call that a freaking romance. Maybe later on, but like I wouldn't call it when they first when they first met each other.
There was a few people in Dragon Ball pursuing Bulma, and Goku got in bed with her faster than anybody. And her pants off, for that matter. He took the underwear off, but she took the pants off.
No, Bulma was wearing a skirt, so there was no pants to take off. You can't fight the panty thing. I don't think there was ever a point in Dragon Ball that they were in bed at the same time, even in a platonic sense. I mean, there's that freaking. I think it was the first night that they were running around Dragon Ball hunting. I guess it was, but Bulma pretty much kicked him out of the house because Goku was trying to be in the bed with her to sleep. Not like that, just. I hate everything. Okay. I hate everything because like Goku doesn't really. Goku at that time didn't understand that boys and girls.
Check this video out at 52 seconds.
True? I wonder why my grandpa didn't tell me about any of this stuff.
He may not have known about it, Goku. Not many people do. The truth is, hey, I know what. Look, I'll trade ya.
Is this a scene where he just takes her panties? I wasn't arguing that he didn't take her panties off. I don't know if you missed that.
She didn't take her panties off.
Well, shoot. There's got to be a way. The hunt must go on. Hey,
I swear there was a point where he removed her panties. Maybe I'm wrong.
Partners, what do you say?
Oh, go hunt balls?
Sure, why not? You would get to see so
many. There's a point where he removed her panties?
Yeah, I feel like there was a point where he did, in fact, do that.
You think Grandpa would be proud?
He did, and he shouted no balls.
Of course he would, kid. Seeing his young grandson that he raised venture out into the world all on his own, learning all about the great cities and crossing the desert and seeing the ocean.
All right, that sounds like a lot of fun. I guess I'll go.
This'll be great.
How old were these two? Bulma had to have been a preteen, right?
Yeah, something like that.
So we're partners?
Here's the scene that you were talking about. The one where I thought they share a bed, but it looks like he comes in the bed with her after she's asleep. Not that that's creepy or anything. And he sleeps with her, but it's not like with her consent or anything.
Could you reword that?
I what?
Could you reword that?
He sleeps in the same bed with her, but not with her permission. She's unconscious.
I feel like that's even worse. Wow, I think there's no way to. I think there is no. I think there is no way to say that without it coming off creepy. I hate the English language sometimes. Yeah, he doesn't end up in bed with her a lot, but not in that way. For anybody who's getting creepy ideas. But I guess that didn't stop the fan base from shipping these two together. I didn't even realize that was happening. I'm not even gonna lie. When I was first watching Dragon Ball as a kid, I wasn't interested in all that. I was just mostly just watching the show because it was Dragon Ball, and that was it. I didn't even really get. I don't know where I stopped watching Dragon Ball, but I know I did stop watching Dragon Ball at some point. I think it might have been in the middle.
Dragon Ball all the way through?
The first time, no, I didn't. I actually watched it all the way through later in life. I didn't watch it all the way through. It was on TV. I just wasn't. Again, I think maybe I did mention this to you. I know I told some people over the course of years, knowing me, is like there was a point when I didn't care about much of any other anime at the time. I was mostly just a Dragon Ball Z head, and if it wasn't Dragon Ball Z, I didn't want to watch it. There was a point in my life when I was pretty much like that, because when it was on TV, I made sure I watched it. that was the one thing I was most interested in. There was a point in my life that I kind of regret. I was like, I could have enjoyed. I watched some other stuff, but it wasn't like I was actively. It wasn't like I was actively feasting for it. You know, I didn't go on a way to look for it. So it was, you know, I was really mostly in tune to watching Dragon Ball Z at the time. I was in elementary school at the time too, so I mean, I had a one-track brain, and that's all I really wanted to watch. That and Cyanide cartoons, but it just like there was a point. So I knew I did watch.
And Happiness was your go-to,
huh?
Cyanide and Happiness was your go-to.
No, Saturday night cartoons.
Oh, I thought you said Cyanide cartoons.
Cyanide and Happiness is a entirely different thing. I didn't find them until like 4 to 5 years ago now. I think. But was like when I was watching.
Cyanide and Happiness is just mediocre in my opinion.
I think it's pretty funny when you find the right cartoon.
Yeah, if you find the right cartoon, but like I don't know. I don't get crazy about it.
Well, it looks like I was crazy. I just kind of found it funny. I haven't watched it in recent.
Dude, chill out. Why are you so crazy right now?
At the Dragon Ball, I guess I already mentioned Goku. I guess we talk about Bulma. Not much to say here right now, but it's like Bulma introducing Goku to the outside world. I guess it's interesting, like, cause like Bulma. How did Bulma find out about the Dragon Balls? Now I'm thinking about it. I know she brings it up how she found out about them.
How'd she find out about the Dragon Balls?
Yeah.
Didn't she have one and used and created the radar based on one that she had?
Was that? I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I don't know, but I know she mentions it. I remember I know you talk about when she made the radar to find them. I guess it would make sense she would have to have one, but how did she get one?
Let's Google it. She found the 2-star Dragon Ball in her basement at the age of 15.
Oh, that's right. She was going through her basement because she was looking for parts to use for something, I guess. She was in the basement for one reason, and she ended up finding them, which is even weirder. The Dragon Balls... Dragon Ball found its way into her basement. Huh.
Well, I mean, her dad was like this wild scientist. He probably would have had a lot of curiosities around.
I guess that's true. There's nothing. I mean, That is like, Yeah, I guess speaking of, I guess on the Bulma train, we can talk about the briefs. Bulma's father, who is an insane scientist, but apparently really well respected.
Insane as in out of their mind, or insane as in like really good?
Yes. You start talking again, just want to make sure that you're being captured.
What?
Okay, there you go. I just want to make sure that it was being read that you were talking.
Oh, okay.
It was being read, so you're good.
I'm not talking right now. I'm actually dead. I've been dead for a long time, and you've had a really bad way of coping with it. And this is you trying to cope with my death because you miss me a lot.
Really sad considering I know about your health right now. I'm just like, I don't like that for a multitude of reasons.
Too dark.
Not even just dark. It's like, why am I hearing you and somehow you're being recorded? There is so many problems with this situation I'm in right now.
I don't know that I'm being recorded. If you're imagining me like as a compensation, as a way to deal with it, like you could also be imagining that I'm being recorded, right? Those aren't mutually exclusive.
Well, here's the thing: was the worst of this all 4 seasons. I've been talking to nobody. No one's been able to hear me. I mean, no one's been able to like hear you. And I'm just talking to something that they can't hear. Anything's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it. It's perfectly healthy and normal. You're okay, Jeremy. You're okay. Everything is going to be okay.
Don't.
It's all okay. So,
Wait, what the hell? Oh, never mind. Continue.
I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Is Goku limited by his masters? Like, would you say that he gets most of his power from upgrading his masters?
I don't think I'm getting the, what. Are you talking about masters as a master's degree or his people has taught him?
Teachers. He's not his master's degree, you silly goose.
I'm just like, you were saying masters. You were being okay. So you talking about his teachers?
Yeah. Is he limited by the fact that he never gets a good enough teacher? Is that like part of the reason that he grows in power like so continuously, because he mostly because he continues to get improved masters, or is it because like what? Like what would you say?
I guess it could be a combination of both. I mean, it doesn't have to be specific to one. I mean, the teachers he gets as he learns definitely help amp up his abilities. The whole idea of like adding in, like if I'm gonna grab something from Dragon Ball Z and place it in here, it's not gonna fit. But it's just like with the whole idea that Goku is supposed to be a low-level warrior to begin with. Like he isn't supposed to. Ideally, even though Saiyans do grow in strength, he wasn't supposed to. But because of the people that he was learning from, it allowed him to grow stronger. So I guess technically, yes, he's probably limited. The amount of power that he is able to gain might be limited to the people that he's taught by. The only time that he ever had a power spike was, well, maybe he had a power spike multiple times when I'm thinking about it. But like he was really strong by human standards at the beginning of Dragon Ball, but he didn't have a teacher other than Gohan. But Gohan didn't teach him much before he got killed by him.
What do you mean? Goku? Oh, I'm sorry. Gohan only had Piccolo as a teacher.
No, I'm talking about Gohan, Goku's grandfather.
Oh, Gohan, Goku's grandfather.
But Goku was taught by Grandpa Gohan, before Goku killed him as a monkey at night, accidentally. So he was already, by that point, he was already stronger than most humans. He wasn't insanely strong, but he was definitely stronger than most humans. Then he traveled with Bulma, he fought monsters and stuff like that, had fun adventures. Then he had come across... Then he heard about a really strong master, or Mutsun, who he could learn to get stronger from. So Goku wanted to get stronger. Then he hit a brick wall with Master Roshi, because Master Roshi was just stronger than him by miles by that point. But because of Master Roshi, Goku was able to get stronger, and his power growth, I think, just became exponential at that point, because Master Roshi was teaching him all kinds of ways to train. And he met Krillin, who at that point was stronger than him.
Didn't he briefly go through time and train with Roshi's teacher as well? I don't know if that was a filler episode or something, but I remember he went and saw Roshi's teacher.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? I don't... How did he do that? Wait, how did... Hold up.
I think it was some Popo shit.
How did Goku time travel?
It was something Popo did.
I'm gonna just believe you, because I looked at time travel and all I'm getting is time machine. So I should have known that I wasn't gonna be able to find anything. I had to do a deeper search, but I'm not gonna do that tonight. So I guess that would have had to happen years later after him, learning everything from Master Roshi. Because he didn't meet Mr. Popo and Kami until much later.
Yeah, look up hang on. the Time Room is the 7th episode of the Piccolo Jr. saga and the 129th episode in Dragon Ball series. Yada yada yada. Goku is fighting with Mr. Popo. Goku loses once again. Mr. Popo sends Goku back in time to train using the Time Room, which they clearly forgot about when the time machine was built. Because they put
there's something else on the palace besides the hyperbolic time chamber. Besides the hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, it's Team 4-Star highlighted too. Because Team 4-Star uses it to fight a Saiyan when they're training in the Saiyan saga. Remember, like, when they do that, and Popo's like, ha, 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 and they're all like, getting their butts kicked by Saiyans. What?
That was Mr. Popo's laugh. Because Sean Schimmel and crap, I forgot his name. The guy who voices everybody. I forgot his name, but Sean Schimmel, the Vegeta's voice actor, and Piccolo's voice actor, because Piccolo and Vegeta's voice actor in America are the same person. Go figure. But they do mention that because the voice actor for Mr. Popo, the new one, makes mention of Mr. Popo's voice in Team 4-Star. He says he loves it.
Loves what?
He loves the Mr. Popo in Team 4-Star. Like the voice actor for Mr. Popo loves the voice. Loves the Popo from Team 4-Star.
Of course he does. It's fucking amazing.
It was kind of funny that it was brought up because people kept on asking, the Funimation voice actors about what they thought about Dragon Ball Abridged, and they kind of skirt the issue a lot. But like they have made mention that they're aware of it, and they know that other places are aware of it, and Toei is aware of it, and they also aware that Toei doesn't like that they're using the property. That's how I even found out about Toei not liking what Team 4-Star was doing. But they're aware of it, and they've seen some of the stuff. They weren't really watching it because like they have a contract, so they can't exactly they can't do or say much because like they don't want to lose their jobs, which makes sense. But the Time Room on the freaking that gives me a headache, and not in a way of like I'm feeling it, but just like I hate throwaway things like that because it's like there are so many things you can do with a Time Room in Dragon Ball Z. It's like they can freaking pull Raditz out of purgatory. People really want Raditz to come back. I mean, I every now and then I see comments about like, man, what happened to Goku's brother? Like, I don't know if it'd be a good idea to bring Raditz out, but I guess at the same time, it's like if Goku could be a good guy, I mean, I guess Raditz could be too, because Bardock isn't that bad. From like wouldn't
that be a great YouTube video though? What if Beerus found out about the Time Room?
I think Beerus, yeah, it'd be a good YouTube video, but like I think if Beerus found out about it, he'd complain about it like he did the time rings and time machines stuff like that, but then he'd just give up and move on. Like actually he'd probably blow it up. He'd probably blow it up. Actually, speaking of the hyperbolic time chamber, there's something I completely forgot about. I guess for deeping into Dragon Ball Z before we go back to Dragon Ball. But you know that infamous scene, well not infamous, but you know that famous scene with Piccolo and Gotenks in the hyperbolic time chamber with Majin Buu, and then like a part of me when I was playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, the game, and I was playing that part. And I had the weirdest thought because it never registered to me. The hyperbolic time chamber has been blown up a few times, either by the door being removed or the entire thing being blown up. I don't think you
can really destroy the dimension it's in, so I don't know.
But no, I just thought it's kind of funny. Like I wonder what Mr. Popo was saying when Piccolo blew up the front door. I wonder what Mr. Popo was like thinking or whatever when the front door was blown up, because like Piccolo did that as a last resort, because when Goten said, "Oh no, I'm all out of power," and Piccolo just blew up the front door and just let them die in there. The Piccolo probably would have lived for 1,000 years, and then he would have died. But
apparently, according to this, I'm looking up the time chamber. They're saying that was filler. I didn't know that was filler.
I can understand why that would be filler.
Of course, it should be filler, but
I mean, because the part of the reason what that actually does is that introduces a problem in the form of what people call a plot hole. I don't know if it could really be a real serious plot hole, but like they could easily have a villain that they killed in the past. Though, I guess with that whole idea of bringing the villain back from the past wouldn't be a bad thing. But I guess at the same time, it's like, yeah, maybe that should be a filler episode. It's kind of messed up though, because like I do remember, because a couple of times they go back in time in Dragon Ball, and it doesn't really matter. Because all they were trying to do was have an episode for fun. And I think about it, when Goku didn't meet like Master Roshi's master, I don't think he trained or anything underneath him. I think he just straight up beat him, and like Master Roshi's master kind of just had like a respect for him and whatnot. Cause like no? He said Mr. Popo flung him in there, so Mr. Popo did that as a training lesson.
According to this, a lot of people are interpreting it that the time room was a simulation, not actual going back in time.
That's a really like complex simulation. I'm not saying it couldn't happen. That's a really complex simulation.
Well, they were trying to make Popo seem pretty radical back then, so I could see that too.
Yeah,
and Popo was supposed to be like almost unbeatable at that time.
Goku couldn't beat him. Actually, I don't think Goku ever beat Mr. Popo.
No, I don't think he did either. I think because he couldn't beat him, and then finally King Kai Kami comes out and says, that'll be enough, Popo. And he like takes over without Goku ever actually beating Popo.
Yeah, because I think like Popo's powers or whatever Mr. Popo had going on with him was something that I think even Kami said that Mr. Popo beat him to a pulp a lot of times before he became the god of the world. So, in Mr. Popo's horns, the mystery of a century that would never get resolved. that blew up the internet. Mr. Popo having horns. It's like, what the heck?
You know what though? I will say one thing about the Garlic Jr. saga. I know it's not popular, and I know I kind of like it, but I do kind of regret that in the Garlic Jr. saga they kind of like, I don't know, Kami and Popo get their asses kicked repeatedly and look like wimps. And Piccolo is like, Popo is like, like cowardly in it. He's like, Kami, what's going on? I'm afraid. And stuff like that. But like, that's not the Piccolo I kind of liked. I liked the mysterious, like, unpredictable, like you're not even sure if he's good or evil Popo, you know what I mean, that they bring out in the Dragon Ball saga. I think something was lost in the non Team 4-star version of Popo when it went to Dragon Ball Z.
I guess we're talking about Mr. Popo because we're already I'm talking about it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's anything lost because if I'm being real, I think a character Toriyama made the character not even really knowing what he wanted to do with him for a few reasons. Because Mr. Popo's color changed. For people who don't know, Mr. Popo used to be pure black. Now he's purple for racial reasons. But
did they switch him back to black eventually?
They may have. I had no idea. I didn't follow the biracial journey that Mr. Popo's been going through. But they probably did. But I don't think we see Mr. Popo all that often anyway. I think half the time I don't even know Mr. Popo is even still on the lookout.
According to this, Hang on. Mr. Pope was only blue in the Toonzai version of the show. Because I was checking to see if he was in Kai, because I figured if he was in Kai, then he was probably everywhere else. But he's black in Kai.
That Kai,
Kai.
yeah, because Kai 3 released and that was them trying to fix some stuff. I guess I think it's what that was about. And they also re-recorded a lot of lines. There's lines in Kai that were not in Z.
Okay, but what I'm saying is the color they went with for Popo in Kai was black, not blue.
So was he blue in the original run of Dragon Ball?
No.
Huh. So the change only happened on Toonzai, whatever the heck that was. Huh. Maybe that was in Africa. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. But Mr. Popo, I don't know if there's anything really lost. I'm pretty sure there was nothing gained, but I'm pretty sure there was nothing lost. Because Mr. Popo wasn't really... He didn't do much beyond after kicking Goku's butt when they first met. And then on top of that, apparently Mr. Popo knowing a little bit about Kami's past. Mm-hmm. About like how he found Kami, well not Kami, but he found the unnamed Namekian in the pod, and then helped him out. And then when he split into two, Popo didn't really do much. He was mostly a plot device, which is kind of sad. But I don't know if like much lost. I guess we can talk about like the biggest elephant, the big green elephant in the room. Mr. Kami and Piccolo, and also the unnamed Namekian that they both came from. I had some time to think about this, and it's like my love for Piccolo wasn't really originally there, or but it's not like I hated Piccolo. It was mostly I was indifferent to him. Over the years, though, I kind of gotten as I realized you have an appreciation for Piccolo, I started like really looking into some of the things and started appreciating Piccolo for what he has done, who he is as a person, the father figure that he is to go on.
He's one of the first black superheroes.
Apparently that too. Never thought about it like that. I think the thought did cross my mind. I was like, nah, they don't have like. I mean, Hercule Satan's really the black character, but moving on from that,
is Satan black or is he like Japanese?
He's black, but he's probably Blackanese. Because there are black people in Japan. There's one a lot of them. There are black people in Japan. There just weren't a lot of
black people in Japan.
There are black people in Japan. There's just not a lot of them. Like there's less of them there than there are, I guess, anywhere else in the world here.
They don't even let black people travel to Japan.
That's a lot. I've seen videos of black people running around Japan streets.
Is Mr. Satan circumcised?
I was gonna say no, he can't be because he had Vidal, but no, that's nothing to do with. That has nothing to do with circumcision. I was about to say that. And I was like, wait, that has nothing to do with his ability to make children. I don't know.
What if Hercule Satan is Italian?
No, he ain't Italian.
Why not?
He's not. He doesn't even seem Italian. Like, what? Where are you getting Italian from?
Where are you getting black from?
He was a darker shade to me back as a kid. I mean, looking at him now, like the only thing I can say that is like he's black as an afro, because like no other character, like typically in any media, and this isn't me, this is just how it always is portrayed. Typically, the black person always has an afro in any type of media. It's either a crew cut or an afro. It's never in any between. They don't have any other types of hairstyle. Maybe dreads every now and then, but it's usually an afro, and that to me is an afro.
Italian wrestler.
Guy's not Italian. I don't care what he
Yes, it is.
says.
Look at this news story.
He's probably from Italy, but he's black. He's like his nationality is Italian.
Hercule is the French word. Maybe he's French.
I want to say this guy's Cuban, is a Cuban origin. They're both wrong.
Maybe he's Brazilian?
No, it literally says he is of Cuban origin.
Where?
In the article. Did you not read?
The guy?
Yes. The Italian wrestler of Cuban origin is Frank Chamzio. What is how you pronounce his name?
I just said he was Italian. I didn't say he originated in Italy.
I always assumed that I always assumed Hercule Satan was black. He looked very different than everybody else. Like almost purposely so. And there's this image of freaking Hercule Satan with dark skin too. There are various images of Hercule Satan, and I think a lot of people like accepted that he might, like Hercule Satan might actually be black. It was always like, I mean, there are various images of Hercule Satan with dark skin. I know that this shouldn't make him automatically black, but it's like that's the assumption you make unless you outright.
Can I make a really obvious point that you're kind of missing?
What?
If Hercule Satan is black, then explain Videl.
I feel like the point you're making is very offensive because I'm just going to sit there and say she could easily be mixed, and mixed children, specifically mixed children that have black DNA, always come out light skinned. They never look all the way, black. They never do.
Videl looks straight up Asian.
And the Asian DNA could easily be the visual thing. And I don't know what Asian. What does Asian look like? That's what I want to point out.
It looks more like Videl than Hercule does. But look at her. She's got blue eyes, like ivory white skin. There's not any trace of African features in her whatsoever.
Are you saying she's not Hercule's daughter?
I'm saying that if she's Hercule's daughter, which we have no reason to believe she's not part black.
I was gonna say, explain the dark, like literally. I mean, this isn't even to be funny. Like every depiction, there's very few depictions of Hercule with light skin. Like there are very few. I'm not gonna sit there and say there aren't, but there are more depictions of Hercule with darker skin.
But Asian people can have darker skin.
Not from what I've seen.
What are you looking at?
I've looked at like Asians, I've never seen like Asians with a darker complexion, even if for them being in the sun. I mean, those suntans, you're talking about the suntan Asians, they aren't black. I know that they're just they're just suntanned, and typically sometimes they remain tanned for an inexplicable amount of time for some really weird reason. But this is never said that Hercule is suntan. Like he never makes mention of it.
Okay, look at the skin color of the people I'm posting in this article. This article just picks 3 Asian people. They've all got somewhat dark skin. I'm not saying they're black or anything even close to black, but they're not like white.
They don't look anything close to Hercule Satan's complexion.
Hercule doesn't look black.
Have you not seen some of the depictions of Hercule Satan that I'm looking at? There are some seriously. Like,
we should find out who.
How about this one?
Who is Videl's mother?
Nobody knows that. It's been like.
Videl's mother's name is Miguel.
Where the hell did he get that from?
And referred to as Miss Satan in the English dub of Dragon Ball Z. She was a beautiful singer who died after Videl was born. Miguel's name is a reference to the Archangel Michael, and her marriage to Mr. Satan is symbolic, as if an angel married a devil.
That's one depiction, and there's several depictions of Hercule Satan with dark skin.
Let's see if they have a picture of her in the wiki or anything. She's never seen an anime or manga, and she has passed away according to Do Shensu. Miguel is the Spanish and Portuguese version of Michael. This is annoying that it doesn't give us any idea of who she is, really.
Explain the fro, because I honestly, maybe this is a misunderstanding. I don't think any other, like, you know, ethnicity out there can grow a fro. At least not one that's that, like, I mean, it's ridiculous, like, how, again, this is coming from me, like, you know, typically black people in any animation, animation, they're usually depicted wearing a fro. That's typically what they usually do to designate, you know, this is a black person, other than the skin color. Why give a character who isn't black a fro? That doesn't make any sense. Even in the wiki, they call that, I mean, they even call his hair a fro. So this is not just me saying or calling it a fro. They say it's a fro.
I'm sorry, I'm looking something up. There's definitely African people on Google with Asian people on Google with afros.
This ain't Hercule Satan's white.
Who is?
Just like, at least like the AI overview. He is not black in the sense of being a person of African descent. He's portrayed as a Caucasian character, and his skin tone is typically depicted as light. Not from some of the images I've seen over the freaking years. Like, I mean, I remember the scenes of him like light skin, but there are some scenes with him like that is not a light skin tone. And maybe this is like one of those overseas situations that screwed him up too.
No, Hercule Satan is not white. He's depicted as a black character according to this AI. It's what? AI though, so I want to see what it really says. Who actually says that he's white? Because I don't know where Wikipedia got that. Oh, there's a Wikipedia article on Mr. Satan. If they say it, I believe it for sure.
As a question to Cora, why does Hercule Satan look black in Dragon Ball Super?
Appearance. Mr. Satan is a tall man of rather muscular and hairy physique that tends to adopt an imposing appearance. His curly black afro, mustache, and well-trimmed sideburns.
Libya.
We have somebody in chat. Is that what you were saying just now?
No. I saw something like somebody asked, like, is Hercule Satan from Libya? And someone say he's absolutely 100% from Libya. I just want to look up where Libya was. Africa. I was looking for somebody. There's a person anywhere. But I'll get back. I mean, as you were looking for that, I'm gonna track back to Dragon Ball.
Sorry, I know I'm taking a long time on this. I'm dying to know this.
Dying to know what?
If there's anything that says what his
No, I don't think they do. All they really give us is he was a human. That's all they ever use for Dragon Ball. That's kind of why I said like people complain about like in Dragon Ball, specifically about the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. People complain that Goku in that movie is a white guy, and I'm like, I don't understand what the purpose is. Goku's skin tone is very light. Like it's not. I don't think that's the purpose of everything. That's when you call Videl Asian. I'm like I find that very hard to take because it's like there's nowhere anywhere where they give characters ethnicities at all. It's like it's something that Akira purposely did not do on purpose. I guess for this reason.
Mr. Killerman was black and Oob was Indian, and Nam was Indian, right? They give some of them ethnicities for sure.
Where did you get Oob that was Indian? Because again, he's not a character I always assume is black because of his dark skin.
Maybe I'm wrong. Hang on. There's nothing in the official storyline, according to this, that says what Oob's ethnicity was.
I mean, there's nobody about anybody's ethnicity. Like some of them, I always attributed very basic understanding.
Indian. Nam is absolutely Indian, right?
Let me look up what the heck Nam is really quick.
Nam is something. I mean, they definitely state Nam's.
Yeah, he's Indian. He might be Himalayan specifically. I think those were like the people who train up in the mountains and whatnot. Those monks. That's what it looks like. That's where it looks like his design, his character design is from. Is like he would be one of those monks.
Hang on a sec.
Apparently later on, Nam grows a beard.
No, it's not Dragon Ball Z Nam.
Oh,
I found a Reddit.
oh, that's GT. Wait, why was Nam in GT?
In Dragon Ball, Nam is depicted with features and attire that strongly suggest a connection to Indian culture. He wears a bindi, a white turban, and an orange and maroon robe, which are all elements of traditional Indian clothing. I think I'm pretty safe with my Nam statement. Additionally, his brown in skin and facial features align with the appearance of individuals from the Indian subcontinent.
I don't know that. I mean, I wouldn't know. I don't know. I never really paid much attention to facial features on various races. I mean, if they have long faces, that's okay. I'm glad people notice that. As far as like Videl's mother, I think she's nowhere. I think what you found was people just like being like I guess doing digging and trying to get context clues, but nothing ever really nothing ever really given concrete. I think it stated that they had a fling at some point, and that at some point, like I think because Videl said something about that. I think maybe I don't know where if Videl does say something about that.
I mean, for hang on. For Oob, looking at Reddit, I mean, not that Reddit is canonical or anything, but most people are saying either East Asian or Indian for him. And there's somebody here that thinks Oob is black.
Like a lot of people, at least of the African. I mean,
here's a really good point. Every African or black character in Dragon Ball has minstrel lips, those big, thick, goofy lips. And neither Oob nor Mr. Satan have them. And they do like to put those on characters in Dragon Ball.
What kind of lips again?
Minstrel lips. Like the lips that you have in blackface. Like what
I
I just
hate that.
put.
The moment I looked that up, the first one that came up was blackface. Oh God,
Yeah.
that's racist.
But that's right. They do that in Dragon Ball though. Black people in Dragon Ball have lips like that. I don't like it, but it's true.
I guess before we move on from this, I don't want to look at this anymore. I want to bring up something like specifically about black people in Japan. I agree that they're not everywhere, and they're like very few and far between. What really breaks my mind, and I found this out recently, even though I probably knew about this a long time ago and maybe completely forgot about it. There was a black samurai, and I'm like, and for a lot of people probably thinking, what? Like that doesn't make any sense. If you look up a guy named Yasuke, there was this African dude who was doing something in Italy, but he had come over with a missionary into Japan to see what was going on because there was some kind of like war going on in Japan. Nobunaga, who was the ruler at the time, actually, and this is the thing that kind of caught me off guard. Nobunaga heard about him and wanted to see a black person. He was curious about what they looked like, and specifically requested to see Yasuke. Well, who wasn't his name at the time, but he requested to see this guy, and it basically gave him like a royalty type of thing. Like he samurai at the time were like the highest class of people, so he bestowed that upon him along with the name Yasuke, and he fought with him. But I bring this up because like with the idea that there is like very few people of the dark skin complexion down in Japan, it makes me wonder how many more people of like that happened around there, because it kind of makes me wonder, because the only reason we know about him is because like of the notes he left behind. He specifically like wrote down stuff about what was going on during his time during Nobunaga, and that was like he has that stuff written down. He went back to Italy, I think, is where he came from, to return back to his missionary and whatnot. But after Nobunaga had died, my biggest thing is like I wonder where his sword is, because if we could find out where his sword is, like I feel like that'd be an interesting piece of history that Japan or whoever could have to display in their things. I just thought it was interesting that there is actual physical proof of an African dude who might have been Muslim, who knows, at the time, going around Japan, running around as a swordsman. I thought that was interesting. For the most part, samurai were mostly women. There were men, but I think samurai for the most part were mostly women. So that's another thing. Back to Dragon Ball. Oh yeah, we were talking about Piccolo, where I ran off and to that whole what I thought Hercule Satan was. But Piccolo, I think I brought it before. I think one of my bigger issues with Piccolo, and this is just something that it can't be helped because Akira didn't know what he wanted Piccolo to do. It's still kind of so dumb. It's like, Piccolo being a Namekian. But I guess the whole idea we were talking earlier about like off camera about like Android 1718 not killing anybody. I guess I don't know if Piccolo had killed anybody. You said that he didn't, and I'm gonna stand by that because you know more. You followed Piccolo a lot more closely than I have. I would say the most notable of the situations that I know he didn't kill anybody was when he first came out of the egg and that little girl had found him. Or was it a boy? I don't remember, but there was a kid that found him in the woods, and he had made a bond with them. That's when he realized that humanity wasn't all evil. I guess it's when his whole entire mindset was starting to change around like little kids. It's kind of funny that little kids is the one thing that changed Piccolo. It was that kid and it was Gohan, both as little kids, influencing him over there. Like the purity of a little kid. It's like it's interesting. That's kind of like what I just not thought about that too. Is like little kids have been the one thing that has influenced Piccolo over the years. But it's interesting that when Piccolo or Majunior as what he is called in Dragon Ball came up, he kind of held on to the whole idea of trying to, I guess, be like his father. I mean, you brought up earlier about like you think Piccolo was going through the motions. You believe Piccolo Jr. was just doing the evil thing because that was his That was his
Programming.
father.
I like the androids.
Program. But here's my thing. You said
Did you see how the androids and Piccolo are similar, though? That they went through the same thing. They came out, they were told they were evil. They tried being evil for a little while, didn't really fit their thing, and then they changed. Because there's that big moment where Piccolo's like, yes, I finally get my revenge, and when he like kills Goku. But it's almost like in the Saiyan saga, you know what I mean? But it's almost like he's relieved to have that out of his system more than anything. Like he's just like, yes, you know what I mean? It's all over. I don't have to worry about this anymore.
I guess. Well, I think the thing I wanted to bring up when you brought that up about the whole programming thing, I think here's the thing. This is just like how like the original big bad King Piccolo, the person that killed Krillin, like when Goku killed him and got revenge for Krillin's death, and then King Piccolo shot out that egg into the wilderness where our Piccolo came from. I always assumed, you said programming, so that means that Piccolo is his own person, and he just had instructions implanted into his brain, kind of like how Goku had instructions planted in his brain when he came to Earth. My thing was, so because based off what you just told me, you can help clarify and tell me where I'm wrong, but what I'm understanding from what you just said by that, you believe Piccolo is his own person, and he had King Piccolo's programming planted in him. I understood that as, I thought Piccolo Jr. was a clone of King Piccolo, and that was the same character, just as a little kid. But now I say that out loud, I'm guessing that can't be true because of continuity problems and stuff like that. But like, I thought that's how that worked. So I thought he was a clone, not a legitimate child of King Piccolo. Was that not how you thought about the whole situation when he had cloned, quote unquote, himself? Because the way you're telling me, it sounds like you didn't.
Well, there's the episode where Piccolo comes out in Dragon Ball is called Sins of the Father, isn't it?
I guess. I mean, that sounds like they would call it that. I guess that's also true with the whole father thing. I don't know. I just thought, like, even with that being said, I always just thought, because the wording was King Piccolo cloned himself, popped out an egg. I thought the cloning process was just him making an egg, because at the time, that wasn't like splitting. You know, I don't think the concept.
Oh no, Sins of the Father is something else.
Oh, I thought I thought the process wasn't, it wasn't like giving birth. It was like, him, splitting or cloning himself. Maybe. Okay, bear with me here. I'm using Dragon Ball Z as a catalyst here a lot, but so we know because Namekians, that's what he is. He's a Namekian. What if, this is something I never thought about until just now, because Piccolo's missing memories, right? What if King Piccolo's also missing memories? Because like,
he absolutely could be.
Because Kami and King Piccolo like were one, because those are the two halves of the original Namekian. Piccolo Jr. isn't the original half of the missing Namekian. So what if when they split, they did in fact lose their? Because I don't even think Kami knew he was a Namekian. When they split, they lost their original knowledge of Namekian. So maybe what King Piccolo thought he was doing was cloning, but in reality he was just giving birth to new children. Maybe he didn't understand. Maybe that's what screwed me up. Maybe King Piccolo thought he was cloning. In reality, he was just giving birth to another Namekian spawn. So that could easily make Piccolo his son.
Not to make too fine a point on it, but is calling them spawn a racist or speciesist?
No, because typically the word spawn and baby can be interchanged depending what context you're using it in. I don't think spawn is meant to be negative in any regard. It's just, spawning, making more of, basically. That's the process of childbirth. Is really, people don't use the word spawn, but I mean, hey, that's what I considered it, because I know a lot of times when evil people talk about their children, they usually call them the spawn of my, whatever. It did, like, speaking, King Piccolo did spawn him in. I mean, he literally just like, and then spat him out as he was dying. which I thought that was a miracle. It was like, I don't know how he managed to do that, and Goku didn't notice it. I guess Goku was so hyped up on "I'm gonna kill you" energy for killing my best friend that he didn't care or notice it.
I'm trying to figure out if there's any other example of a Namekian giving birth other than King Piccolo. Can you think of any other example of it
in the original Dragon Ball?
Yeah, and
I don't think there is. I don't think there's anything in Z. I think. Oh, there has to be one in Z.
When they talk about Guru, like they don't talk about any giving birth or anything when they're going through Guru's
No, I think they make mention that. No, I think they do make mention that Guru was the one that gave birth to all the Namekians on that planet. At least all the young ones, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I'm saying is, like, in the original Dragon Ball, like before we get to Z, because in Dragon Ball, Piccolo was a demon, but in Dragon Ball Z, King Piccolo would really be a Namekian, and the process that King Piccolo was doing is the exact same thing as the process of like what they do on Namek. It's no different. All I'm really trying to fight for is the fact that if King Piccolo himself was missing memories, he wouldn't know the process that he was doing was really giving birth. He would think that this was just some like really hard on him type of powerful technique where he could make more to. Because I mean, he made those like dinosaur looking things. I don't even know how he made them. I don't think it was ever explained how he made those dinosaur things. I just thought it was the same process that Piccolo Jr. was made. Because I think as King Piccolo was dying, he made mention that he was going to put everything he had into this one egg so that he could come back. So I always assumed that that Piccolo Jr. was King Piccolo, but I guess in all reality, freaking Piccolo says it multiple times that he is not his father. So, you know, I guess like for me, I guess I was too strung up on the idea of the word clone and not really listening to Piccolo when he was saying, because I do remember him several times, because I think they mistake him a lot of times. I think even Goku mistakes him for King Piccolo, and this one Piccolo, you know, says that I am not King Piccolo, basically, like. But I always assume that because like he used the word clone, as far as I remember. I have to go really look up maybe that scene to see if the word clone is used, but I'm
not finding very much at all about except that they reproduce asexually. I'm not finding very much at all about them. The only other fact I'm finding, and it's not relevant to this conversation, is that they also have a psychic link to their children, which you see were demonstrated by Guru when he knows that like one of his children die.
King Piccolo had the exact same one with his dinosaur children. That's how he knew they were being killed. I think it's even mentioned, I think in the wiki that that's what was going on. Like that's how he knew that, you know, they were being killed.
So then all the dinosaur children are...
Yeah, they are Namekian. I knew that. That was something I'm not confused with.
They don't seem like Namekian at all.
They don't look Namekian, but they are Namekian. That's the thing. Like they were technically demons in Dragon Ball. Is what they were.
Well, I liked your theory that King Piccolo didn't know he was a Namekian, so he called them demons.
Man, I don't think that's a theory. I think that's the truth. I think that's a legitimate truth that he obviously, but I honestly didn't really take into consideration that maybe that his like memory loss maybe even further back than that. Maybe because he really didn't know. It's possible he didn't know what the King Piccolo didn't know what he was, because Piccolo Jr. didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I'm just watching the scene with Goku killing King Piccolo. I just want to see what he says when he's doing the thing. I forgot the Tien was a part of this.
The Tien's a part of this? What do you mean?
Tien was there during when Goku killed King Piccolo.
Oh. Yeah, everybody was there from Dragon Ball, weren't they? Pretty much, except for maybe like.
But Krillin wasn't. He was dead.
Roby. He was with them in spirit.
I don't know if Krillin was really there in spirit.
No, Krillin.
Like we would love to believe that Krillin was there in spirit.
Poor Krillin.
It's funny, actually. Not funny Krillin dying, but more it's funny that if Goku had been at his peak, like at his peak physical strength as he was during the Namek Saga, when Krillin died that first time, he would have went Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because like Akira, when he was alive, dropped that bomb. Is that if Goku had been at his peak performance and when that happened, he would have transformed. But because he wasn't, that's why he didn't transform. So it seems like Krillin was always meant to be the thing to trigger.
Kami was a Dragon Clan. And there was a warrior-type Namekian, and then there was a Demon Clan, and Piccolo... Evil Piccolo was from the Demon Clan.
Did he say... Hold up. Okay, never mind. I misinterpreted the cloning thing. He just says my legacy on this planet will survive. That means a child. Never mind. I don't know where I got cloning from. King Piccolo literally says my son. Never mind. Maybe my memory about that is a little bit messed up, and maybe it's because Goku mistook him for King Piccolo, and then Piccolo, Piccolo Jr. clarified that he's not his father. So never mind. There was no cloning at all. I don't know where I got that cloning thing from. Now I'm curious. That bothers me a lot now. Look, just his blackface. Why is it still on my screen? Okay, that solves that. Dragon Ball is an interesting show. Even like when I guess we could talk about something that I guess I wasn't gonna make mention here, was like Spear showed me a video about the theory that Bulma might have been crushing on Goku. And I hate it. Because like they brought up some interesting points. I didn't watch it all the way, but I saw the important points that they were making. I always brushed off the Bulma calling Goku handsome thing at the end of Dragon Ball. I always brushed that off. I didn't think it meant anything. It was one of those things like I would honestly have taken it more seriously if it resulted in anything. But since it didn't, but it's mainly probably because Bulma couldn't make a move. But no, she wouldn't have known about Chi-Chi when she had said that. Yeah, I don't even think Bulma and Chi-Chi knew each other. Not to its format, anyway. The Chi-Chi comes right back when she's older. So no, she could have probably because she was dating Yamcha. Man, Yamcha keeps taking L's. I hate this. I think this is probably why I want Yamcha.
Poor Yami.
This is probably why I want more for Yamcha, because Yamcha doesn't really get much of anything. I mean, he gets later on he gets a baseball team. Actually, we talk about Yamcha actually. Yamcha in this particular show, I think he shined the most, and he was probably the most useful. The most useful here, even him teaming up with Tien, like. The couple times he did in Dragon Ball, it was kind of awesome. Like, I mean, it was awesome to see those two tag team, and those two also fight each other. I think they fight each other to a stalemate, I think, during the tournament, I believe. That's the one I want to think is what happened. But even Yamcha doing the Spirit Ball thing, I think he was like the first of the group to do a key technique. and also control it. So I always assumed that Yamcha was gonna, you know, there was a lot more. The sky was the limit for Yamcha when he did that, and only to realize that no, the sky was not the limit. Yamcha had hit his peak long before the end of Dragon Ball, and I wasn't gonna see any more of him because of it. Yamcha is probably for me the most disappointing character, only because I had such high expectations of him that I know that in hindsight I shouldn't have. And it leaves me disappointed every time I think about it. It's like, and it hurts even more because like the Yamcha being blown up in a hole thing is such a joke in Japan that they actually have a statue of Yamcha in that hole from the being blown up by Spider-Man. And it hurts every time I see it. It's like, I'm disappointed.
Did Yamcha need to be disappointing though? Like he never really did anything ever. Like at what point did we get high expectations for him?
I mean, the wolf face was a cool technique, but also during the tournament when he came back after training, and he was like one of the first of the Z crew to display the ability to control ki. I think that was before Goku even did the Kamehameha. Like, I think Yamcha displayed. I forgot it was a Spirit Ball. He was fighting. Yamcha had been in the fight with Kami when Kami was pretending to be a human. I remember like Yamcha displaying that technique, and I think no one else had the ability to use ki. Because Yamcha, for whatever reason, was the first one of the crew to show that ability. So let me look it up. Kami.
Yamcha did it before Master Roshi?
I don't consider Master Roshi part of the crew, so I'm like thinking he did it before Goku. I want to say. Yeah, because the clips of Yamcha and the Spirit Ball, and they made like a big deal about it too.
He used it before. Hang on. That doesn't seem right. It would have.
That's weird. Fun fact: the Spirit Ball was the first ever created ki attack in the course of the series. The Kamehameha and Dodon Ray were technically created before the start of the Dragon Ball. So that is very impressive, especially that Tien and even Goku hadn't made something completely new.
I really would have thought that Master Roshi used the Kamehameha before Yamcha did his thing. Does the Wolf Fang Fist count as using ki?
No, he never used ki in the Wolf Fang Fist. That was all a physical melee attack.
Really, even though they'd show the wolf and everything?
The wolf wasn't there. That was just some like personification of this attack. I think that was just all in Yamcha's head. That wolf never existed. The Wolf Fang Fist was nothing more than just a bunch of punches and kicks really fast. Also fun, like that move beat Goku a lot till Goku learned how to deal with it. So again, like Yamcha displayed ability, like displayed. That's strange. Goku's is a teenager at this point when he does this. No, the Kamehameha you would have had to have been shown first. I guess this is, no, maybe this is what I mean by the Spirit Ball technique. I think this is the first example of somebody creating a technique by themselves. Because the Spirit Ball wasn't not an attack people knew about. Yamcha created that. Yeah, the Spirit Ball was literally like that technique that Yamcha had displayed was something that he created on his own, and that's why I thought it was.
When's the first time Yamcha used Spirit Ball? Because I thought he learned it from King Kai.
Goku learned the Spirit Bomb from King Kai. Yamcha didn't learn that. He used it in Dragon Ball. He was fighting against Kami when Kami was masquerading as a human.
Okay.
You not
That's
remember
the
this?
first time he used it?
Yeah, that's the first time he used that technique. He created it.
Wasn't a very important fight, to be fair.
But no, but I'm just saying that like, Yamcha displayed the ability to create an attack. I know that's not really all that impressive with everybody else has done it because Krillin made one. But what I mean, Yamcha was the first one to do it. Krillin didn't make the spirit the key Kienzan. He didn't create that until like Dragon Ball Z. Yamcha created a move in Dragon Ball, and after that, Yamcha's decline just started happening. And to me, it was like I really felt like there was so much potential there for him to apply ki, especially to the Wolf Fang Fist. I feel like that could have easily powered up that move way more. Like to me, there was potential for Yamcha to grow with everybody else, but of course Yamcha didn't, because Yamcha is nothing more than a litmus test for everybody else. And yes, I am upset about that, but at the same time, I can't do anything about it. It's already happened. As you can tell, I'm very irked by this.
You're very irked by it? Why?
I really liked Yamcha, and I really wanted to see more of him do more, and nothing. He doesn't do anything but be made the fool of. It's just because I really like Yamcha as a character. He's really cool. I like that he's like technically the bad boy who lands on his face all the time. To me, he was really interesting to follow, and since they didn't do much with him after. Like, the last thing that Yamcha was even a part of that was even important was when he got stabbed in the chest by Android 20? No, when Android 20 Android 19 zapped his energy. The last thing that Yamcha was ever involved in that had any real weight. After that, Yamcha just stopped being a part of like major fights. He retired. Some people are happy that Yamcha's got a career. I wanted to see more Yamcha in fights. That's me personally. That maybe is selfish, because that might get him killed again. But it's like Yamcha's career has nothing to do with the show. He's in the background, and as long as you remember that he is a baseball player, I guess that's okay. I just want to see more Yamcha on screen, and unfortunately, because of what we're going with the power scaling, that will never happen. But it's just like to me, Yamcha was the biggest disappointment for me specifically, because I had high hopes when I probably shouldn't have. I guess that part of that's my fault, but still.
Yeah.
Like, I meant that's probably mostly my fault, but I don't like that I was led a direction, and the direction was wrong, and I don't understand why they would have Yamcha showed like this, that he was competent, and in reality he wasn't. Either that or his ceiling for what he could learn was very freaking low compared to other people.
Yeah.
He even fought like Tien. I think he fought Tien to a standstill. Like, I feel like that's impressive for who Tien is. But, that's my rant for that's my TED talk for Yamcha.
It was a good TED talk. I like the part where you talked about it.
I'll probably keep talking about it because I'm that upset by it. Like this isn't a joke. I'm really upset by it. Character that I could have really liked and that followed just kind of got made fun of, and it just like I don't like that for him. I don't like.
What was the appeal of Yamcha? Like, what made him so great?
I feel like he had potential when I was as a kid. I liked his character. He to me he was kind of like the big brother character. It's for Goku, and in reality he probably wasn't. But at the same time, he had that cool factor for me. It's just as a goofball that actually had some potential, and like unfortunately his potential wasn't all that high. And I really wish. I feel like I was led a direction to believe that he was going to be more than what he was. I think the Spirit Ball thing was a red flag that I mistook as a gold flag. I don't know how I was supposed to interpret the Spirit Ball. Apparently you didn't take it as anything important. I guess no one else did. But I feel like that the Spirit Ball, him making it, was actually really good. It was showing that he had potential. And a lot of people in the comments of this one video I'm looking at actually had the same had the same vision of like it was really impressive that he was able to create that on his own. Mm-hmm. He didn't need to be taught. So it was like, to me, I was like, okay, if Yamcha could do this, what the heck happened? I don't even think Yamcha can use the Kamehameha, or if he can, it's not that powerful. It's just I feel like him getting Ki should have been the ultimate unlocking of his fighting potential, and unfortunately, it wasn't. I feel like I was lied to, basically. I feel like, to me, I liked Yamcha. I felt like I was lied to. You're laughing, but I feel like I was lied to.
Well, this is starting to feel like a therapy session.
This isn't a therapy session. This is just me ranting.
Show me on the doll where Yamcha hurt you.
Here, and here. Like, I honestly like Yamcha as a character. Based on what you're saying, you didn't like him that much. That's totally fine. You can like whoever you want. I like Yamcha. He isn't high on the list of characters I like, at least not now. But like, there was a point when he was high on that list based on the characters they had shown us. Like, he was up there. He was up there in characters. He was up there for me, like characters with like Krillin and Tien and stuff like that. He was up there. Now he's no longer there because, well, he's not important. He doesn't do anything. And then the times he does show up, he's just a freaking background character. That upsets me even more. Because every time I see him, I think about the time that I thought Yamcha was gonna be really strong as Krillin, and then I come back to reality, back to Earth. I get grounded. I'm like, oh, that's right, he's useless. I feel like, to me, there was no point in him being there. Like, I could have enjoyed Dragon Ball thoroughly without Yamcha being in there, because I feel like
it was a good way for Bulma to lose her virginity.
Did they have sex?
You don't want to lose your virginity on your husband. Like, you want to have at least one adventure. See what you know.
I feel like some women want to lose their virginity to their husband.
I don't know. Not someone like Bulma.
Why is Bulma different?
Why is Bulma? She's not different per se. I just think there's a group of people, a group of women that would want to lose their virginity to their husband, and there's a group of people that would like to see what the buffet has first. You know.
Boba didn't really explore the buffet. Just gonna say that.
Well, because she couldn't get a boyfriend.
I feel like she wasn't trying enough. She wasn't trying hard enough. Because I mean, because I'm gonna say, it's like, Bulma isn't ugly, so it's like, I don't know where she was looking. Like,
I mean, she was also 15.
Was that her actual age? Like, when was this? What age? When was she 15? What exactly? What time period?
She was 15 when she found the first... Oh, she's 16 when she meets Goku. She was 15 when she found the first Dragon Ball.
So she was a teenager. So she had to probably be 18, probably by the tournament. Or 17. No, she was probably 18.
Or 16. Sorry. Android joke there for you.
Oh, dang it. I flipped. Dang it. I hate you.
16, 17, or 16.
Goku had to have been younger than her when they first met. But maybe not by that much. Okay, Goku was insanely short compared to Bulma when they first met. And typically, boys are shorter than girls at a very young age. When they hit a certain age, they growth spurt. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that maybe Goku was 13 when they met.
Okay.
And then he would have hit a growth spurt. Because he hit a growth spurt near the end of Dragon Ball, so he would have hit the growth spurt maybe. So maybe it's
Goku
possible
was
that
12.
Goku was 16 or 17.
Goku was 12 when you first met Bulma.
Where are you getting this?
Dragon Ball Wiki.
They have an age? All I see is numbers. Okay, so he was 12 when he met. So I was 1 year off. I was 1 year ahead. Okay, so he was 12 when he met, and she was 16. So she would have been 18 by the end of the show. Goku should be 16 or... Wait, no. He was 12 when the show started. So Goku probably would be 16 by the end of the show then.
Mm-hmm.
He was 12, and that'd give 4 years to pass. And if,
What point are you trying to find for Goku's age?
now I'm just trying to figure how old he would have been at the end of the show, back when, you know, when everybody was older, you know, before Z happens, during the tournament with Piccolo. That's like you said that Bulma was 16 when they first met, and Goku was 12, so it was a 4-year gap, age gap.
I'm having trouble because every time I research it, they're telling me how old he was at the end of Z.
How old is saying he was? Oh, at the end of Z. How old was he at the end of Z?
I'll have to go look at it. Chronologically 47 and physically 40.
Good lord! So there was a huge time gap between Ball and Z. So there at least was 10 years apiece, I think. If I'm doing that math correctly.
That's at the end of Z that he's that age. At early Dragon Ball, he was about 18.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, so he was at the very beginning of Ball, he was 12. At the end of Ball, he was 18. So there was
No, at the beginning of Z, he was 18. I don't know if that's the same thing.
I feel like that would be, I don't, because I mean at the beginning of Z, yeah, Gohan was born. I guess Goku would have been 17, because at least there would have been a year, and that would have been enough time for Goku and Chi-Chi to get busy and feel the love in the jungle tonight, for her to have a kid the following year. I would say like 17 at the end of Ball would work. So that would be 5. Well, no, 5, not 5. Wait, I'm doing my math wrong. 3 would put him at 15. 4, 16. 5, 17. So 5 years was all of Dragon Ball. And then, well, wait a minute. That means Bulma would be, she would have been in her early 20s. Jesus. If we're using that math, and there's like, I'm using that math, that would put Bulma in her early 20s. I think if I'm doing that correctly, that would put her in her early 20s at the end of Dragon Ball.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go with 21. Goku was like 17. Yeah, that's not unreasonable for her to find him attractive.
Damn it, I want to find out how old he was. In the Piccolo Jr. saga, he was 19. So he would have been 19 at the end of Dragon Ball,
With the
right?
new U.S. Bank Smartly Visa Signature Card.
Jesus, shut up. Sorry.
I didn't know you were looking for a Visa card.
I'm not. Visa thinks I am.
Wait, at the end of the Piccolo Jr. saga? Wait, so what was the last saga in Dragon Ball?
Piccolo Jr. According to this, Goku would have been 24 when the Saiyan saga first starts.
Are you telling me he was 19 at the end of Dragon Ball specifically?
Are we trusting Screen Rant, first of all? Because that's what I'm reading from. Screen Rant is a little sketchy, isn't it?
I've never heard of Screen Rant, so I mean, I'm leaving that up to you.
Screen Rant.
Screen Rant?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I posted a few quotes from them towards you, but I only do that just to give ideas or whatever like that, and like what they see if you want to believe them or not.
Maybe it's Screen Rant is okay. I forget if Screen Rant is okay. I know CB whatever isn't, right?
I don't know what you're referring to.
There's a really, really crappy there's a really, really scrappy one. I forget what it's called. It's CB something. They write tons of really lazy, badly built Dragon Ball articles on there. But I don't remember if Screen Rant is a good one or a bad one. I'm leaning towards it's a bad one. Bad source. I try to find a better source.
I gotta. I'll be right back. I gotta use the bathroom. Yet again.
Again, all you do is every day you're pooping.
Hey, all right.
Was it a good poop?
Huh?
Was it a good poop?
I didn't have to go poop.
CBR, by the way, is the other one. Comic Book Resources, CBR. That's the one that's a terrible, terrible source.
I think I actually avoid CVR.
CBR is really bad. All right, I'm going to give up on this because I can't tell for sure. We're going to go with about 18 or whatever it said. I'm getting too focused on this. I cannot take no more of it.
All right, Rayla.
What?
I said, all right, Rayla.
Rayla. Oh, yeah, I guess that is Rayla a little bit. I was trying to do Star Trek.
See here, Dragon Ball Son Goku Saga, Red Ribbon Army Saga. I can't tell if this is the order that they came out in or not, because I have the Piccolo Saga, Emperor Pilaf Saga, Red Ribbon Army Saga, Tien Shinhan Saga. Tournament, General Blue, King Piccolo. Piccolo Jr. Piccolo spans a few of them. What the hell? Oh, the Tien Shinhan Saga was the first part of the Piccolo Saga. The Tien led into the Piccolo stuff.
Yeah.
So, 18, Goku. We started out in the show with 12. He's 18 by the end of it. Jeez. Let's see, 12, 13, 14, 5 years. And Bulma would have been 16. That's 21 if I think I'm doing my math correctly. 16. No, that's 22. No, that's 20. No, I'm doing my math right. Shoot, that's 21. Again, still not ridiculous.
What?
No, I was just telling myself like still not ridiculous. The whole just the Bulma and Goku. I like honestly the part reason why I always kind of like never thought about Goku and Bulma being a thing is like I don't think those two would have worked out together. Even I mean I think they worked better as friends than they would have worked as like a married couple. Mainly because I'm using Chi Chi as a pedometer, and she loses her mind every few seconds. At least it seems like, at least with Vegeta, Bulma seems to be less insane, and Vegeta seems to be a little bit more dependable than Goku is. But that might just be a personality quirk of them and not like anything really serious. I guess we can touch on Krillin a little bit here. Krillin's whole thing in this show was interesting too, with him kind of being Goku's like rival and then also his fellow student, and like Krillin being pushed to get stronger along with Goku. It was interesting to see Krillin here versus Krillin in the future, because like Krillin's less of a scaredy cat in Dragon Ball than he is in Dragon Ball Z. That it might just have been Krillin getting wiser and not wanting to die so often because he gets killed quite a bit. I already ranted about Yamcha. Gonna leave that alone. I guess Tien Shinhan is interesting.
Would you have liked to see Yamcha in the Tournament of Power?
I mean, based on his performance everywhere else, no, I think I would have been way more upset with his performance.
I think if Yamcha was in the Tournament of Power, he would have had a stupid power boost just like everybody else did. Because everybody got like a free power-up boost just for being alive.
I mean, I know people have a problem with those power boosts. I didn't really have a problem with the power boosts.
But what I'm saying is Yamcha would have had one too, I think.
I mean, more than likely, yeah. But the power boost really meant anything. No, not really.
He would have had a power boost, so his power wouldn't have been the issue at all. It would have been his character that would have been the issue, because he would have turned out to be as powerful as Krillin or something.
I just want him to do something prior to the Tournament of Power. I would love him in a part of anything prior to the Battle of Gods. I would have like that. I think that would have been that would have probably like shut me up. But because he didn't do anything post Androids, it's like, I guess for me, it's like I'm more ranting that, you know, of what I believe could have been versus what was, and my rant is more, I'm just upset about what I thought was going to happen post Dragon Ball into Z, and what I got wasn't what I thought was going to happen. And I think I sat there hoping that Yamcha was going to do something cool, and I got nothing. I got nothing for it. And maybe it's one of those things, like I feel like maybe I'm one of those lone Yamcha fans out there. I know there's probably quite a few of them out there that feel a certain way about how Yamcha got treated. I just feel like everybody else kind of got treated good, you know, to a certain point, even if they weren't all that important. I think Yamcha just kind of got left out of a lot of things. It's almost like the kid that, you know, doesn't get picked to be a part of somebody's like dodgeball team or whatever like that. You know, the one that they either gets picked last or doesn't get picked at all, which kind of what happened to Yamcha at the end of Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, he was like backup if... I mean, they picked fucking Frieza, man. They're like, you know what? We're going to pick the most evil asshole we've ever met. Unredeemable.
Here's the thing, though. I don't know if he's like... I watched Super over and over again. Not over and over again, but I watched that last fight thing with like Frieza, and I watched the dub, and I watched it in the sub, and I don't know why, but it's like I have this appreciation for Frieza that I didn't have before, and I think it's because Frieza's in a situation that he would not normally be in. and it allows him character that he otherwise didn't have. And while it's a garbage character, it's still a character I kind of like seeing, mainly because he kind of gets his just desserts a lot during the Tournament of Power, but he also helps out. Like, I mean, you can sit there and say you'd rather have somebody else other than Frieza. I think Frieza was an interesting choice. I think I wouldn't change that.
I'm not saying he's an interesting choice. I'm saying they were really digging deep to not pick Yamcha. When Goku was like, I don't know, let's see who can fight for our universe.
If you're talking about the Yamcha we currently have, no, I wouldn't want to see Yamcha in the tournament. But this hypothetical Yamcha that I have in my mind that doesn't exist, that's the Yamcha that I want. There's this hypothetical version of Yamcha that does not exist. And in no continuity, not even fan iterations, other than that one particular really weird one called That Time I Got Reincarnated as Yamcha, and they end up becoming the most powerful character in the entire Dragon Ball Z. I never read that, but I was reading a lot of people apparently enjoyed that, and I'm guessing it was like one of those like really funny parody things. I find that funny. Maybe one day I'll watch it. I mean, I'll go read it. I had no idea. It's just one of those really random things that kind of just popped up out of nowhere for no good reason. But like that aside, it's like the version that we got. No, I wouldn't want to see him in the Tournament of Power. And like, yes, and a part of it is his character. The guy's a goofball. He hasn't changed. He hasn't grown. Like, you can make your argument about Krillin, and it's kind of a goofball, but Krillin has grown. He's as a character, he's a lot more enjoyable to watch. Some people don't like him because he sounds annoying when he's cheering Goku on, but I think it's just a part of who Krillin is. Krillin is Goku's oldest and longest held best friend. I mean, sorry, Yamcha, but it's a freaking truth. Krillin Goku been through a lot. You know, he doesn't have that history that Krillin does. Same thing with Tien. Goku's got more history with Tien because those two have fought a lot, and those two have been in the trenches together. Like, Tien has never gotten gutted. For crying out loud, to your point, Tien has lost an arm, still gone in and nearly killed Cell. He caught Cell so off guard.
Yeah.
Like Tien created a technique that uses his life force. Like, Tien's done a lot. So it's like, you know, like, again, Tien has got history. Piccolo's got history. Like, Master Roshi's got history. Yamcha just doesn't have that history with Goku. Goku, like, when they first introduced Yamcha, the Goku, you know, Yamcha was a wall, but he wasn't a wall for long. Goku figured out his technique and completely, you know, made it useless. Yamcha was a desert punk that didn't really have a lot to his name at all. Like, I mean, Yamcha was literally on the desert homeless. But, like, I feel like the mystery with Yamcha was enough to make something out of his character. Unfortunately, Kira decided that he didn't want to make anything out of his character. But it's self-evident by the way he treats him. But, you know, well, the way he did treat him, because rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. But, the Yamcha we got right now, no, like that, I wouldn't. I'd rather have Frieza if that was my option. Like, what is I'm complaining about Yamcha not being used for or anything? Like, like, there's this hypothetical version of Yamcha that I want, that I know I'm not gonna get. So you know, it's just one of those things. Like, I'm hoping for something I know I'm not gonna get. I just want to be angry. But I guess we'll go to end this off. Before we end this off here, I got a question for you, and this is just overall question.
Okay.
So I know you don't particularly like Frieza, and I think you made mention that you would probably almost rather have like anybody else besides Frieza in that last spot. You even brought up Cell.
He made it super interesting. Frieza made it a whole element of like lost control. I think it was a fantastic character to bring into the Tournament of Power. I just think, like, you know how if you're playing a D&D campaign, like, you don't necessarily do the right thing for, like, if advancing the scene, like advancing what's going on. Like, sometimes you just do like sometimes you do something that's really, really stupid and is not going to advance your character's power or strength or anything at all. but it's the more interesting thing to do, and you're playing a game, so you do the more interesting thing instead of the thing that's going to get you more power in a role-playing game. So if you follow, like, sometimes the right thing for the character to do, the smartest thing the characters can do, has nothing to do with the thing that is most interesting for the story. So sometimes when I'm playing D&D with my friends, like, me and my D&D friends will do the thing that's more interesting for the story, even though it's really stupid for the character to do it. And I think, like, bringing Frieza along had a lot of potential. It turned out okay, but I think it had a lot of potential to be a really stupid choice. So I'm saying when they went over this, like, that's why I said they're really bending over backwards to not pick Yamcha. They're like, well, do anything to not have Yamcha on my team. Like, hell, let's get Frieza, you know? But I think it was definitely the interesting thing to do. I just don't think it was necessarily the smartest choice they could have made. If I was making a dream team for Universe 10, I think I would have picked a few different characters. Like, I don't think I would have brought Tien with me. You know.
I don't know if there would have been anybody other. Like, here's the thing: you talking about characters that are alive. I think Goku picked a good group of people. I mean, barring Frieza, who wasn't alive, but like at the same time, it's like, to me, those characters kind of fit. And also to the whole point of Yamcha, I don't think it was that Goku wasn't trying to pick him; he just wasn't thinking about him. Like that's what I think. That was really Yamcha. Also, to play devil's advocate here a little bit, Yamcha also didn't try to push his case. He didn't try to find Goku. He didn't try to figure out where he was to even ask. He was assuming that Goku was just going to show up saying, "Hey, buddy, you want to join in the fight?" Like, and I think another thing too is like, I think another issue with Yamcha specifically in Goku, the fact that they don't have that like friendship thing that Yamcha believes that they freaking do, because they really freaking don't with the way freaking Goku treats him half the time. I don't think they're best friends. But I think it's also the fact that, like, to the whole point that, you know, whenever Goku thinks about Krillin, he wants to fight Krillin, even though he shouldn't, because he probably killed Krillin, but he still wants to fight Krillin. And I think Goku is basing a lot of that off of how much fun he had as a kid with him. He didn't have that with Yamcha, so I don't think it was because he wasn't trying to pick Yamcha. I think he legitimately forgot about him. Nobody even bothers to bring up Yamcha either. Not even Bulma, who has that relationship with him anyway, didn't even bother even asking Goku, but what about Yamcha? Nobody thought about him, so like Yamcha was off Yamcha is literally that kid in the gym class you don't pick because you don't want him on your team. That's what Yamcha was. He was literally that kid you don't pick in dodgeball. And it's like, as messed up as that is, I think they made the right choice not picking Yamcha. Because, like, I feel like Yamcha would have probably been the first one off the out of the tournament, and they'd be at disadvantage.
So let's make a tournament of power ideal team here. Obviously, Goku. Let's start with the obviouses. Obviously, Goku. Obviously, Vegeta. Right? Who else is like an obvious?
Piccolo, Gohan.
Gohan. I guess Piccolo.
I think Piccolo's obvious, mainly because like he's like the brains. He's smarter than Gohan, probably by that much. Because if Gohan really gets serious, he can think his way out of things. But like for the most part, Gohan doesn't really fight with his brain anyway.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, what did it actually do for him in the actual fights?
I think wasn't Frieza a problem for a lot of this? So I mean, I feel like maybe if Frieza wasn't there, maybe Piccolo could have been more useful. I don't know. How about this? Piccolo with the how about Piccolo with the super power boost? The superhero power boost. How about that version of Piccolo? If it was possible.
Sure, but what I'm saying is Piccolo spent a lot of the tournament of power getting his arm shot off and stuff, and like and getting kicked out of the ring and stupid stuff. Like he didn't actually do a heck of a lot useful in the tournament of power.
Okay, well if you disclude Piccolo, there aren't really that many, at least in my opinion. You'll probably bring up a few, but there's not really many people that I would honestly, if they were like the living people. I
think 17 and 18 are both no-brainers.
My issue with 17, 18, I wouldn't know about the usefulness of 17 at all prior to the tournament.
What are you talking about? We know she's pretty powerful.
I'm talking about 17, not 18. Like, I wouldn't know about the usefulness of 17 prior to the tournament. Because at the time, I would have thought 17 was dead, and on top of that,
because we're not aware of 17 in the show. I understand that.
I don't know if I would pick 17. I only would probably pick 17 if 18 had to be there, possibly. But like, there really aren't that many living people like that are all that really useful, other than the ones that are already there.
We don't need living people. We've established that Frieza can come. Like, we don't need living people. We need anybody.
But the other people in the tournament were alive.
Okay, but because Frieza can come, it's safe to say that it's possible to get a dead person to come. Right?
I mean, there aren't really that many dead people either.
I would bring Pycon.
Is Pycon of Universe 7?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Because, I mean, Pycon isn't exactly...
Positive.
I don't think he's, like... I don't think the heaven area is, like, a lot... Well, maybe I'm stretching. But as far as I'm aware, they haven't really said anything about that. Though, I mean, when heaven was introduced, they didn't introduce the whole idea of universes. But still... Like, is Pycon really of the Universe 7?
Yeah, Pycon's Universe 7.
And do you really think he'd be more useful than freaking Piccolo?
I'm saying Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, 17 and 18 are half the group. I'm saying after that, I would probably skip one of the existing players for Pycon.
Why specifically Pycon? I mean, I'm actually not even trying to be funny. Like, I mean, I know you've mentioned this before. I've never been sold on the idea, but like, I mean, I know you seem to be really sold on it. Like, why specifically Pycon? Regardless of the cool factor. Regardless of the cool factor, like
okay, he's smart. He's a team player. He's got possibly thousands of years of experience, certainly hundreds of years of experience. He's got good powers. He's a good strategist, and he knows some of the characters, so he could potentially get along with some of the other characters.
No, he only knows Goku.
He knows Krillin.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
Where did he meet Krillin?
In the afterlife. When Boo was going from planet to planet destroying planets, he showed up at the at Pycon's what was that, the Grand Kai's planet. And I believe Krillin was there to fight him.
Are the Grand Kai, the North, South, East Kai, are they actually canon?
No. But we're going with stuff in the anime. At least, like, if we're going with like a dream team, so we can dream here.
I'm still really not sold on Pycon, and maybe it's because I'm not attached to him. But like, okay, I mean, Pycon.
Well,
I didn't know you included Krillin in the list. I was like, but that caught me off guard.
I didn't put Krillin on the list yet.
Oh.
I'm trying to see if I can find a video of that scene to see who actually beat hang on.
Goku, Vegeta, Gohan.
I'm trying to remember, I'm trying to see who was on that planet when Piccolo fights them.
Piccolo, wait, what? I'm sorry, I'm very confused.
Sorry, because I'm trying to do two things at once. When Boo fights the on Supreme Kai's planet, I'm trying to see if I can find that.
Hey, what about this? Goten and Trunks, but specifically Goten and Trunks fused.
Because
Goten is really powerful.
They wouldn't be able to fuse for the entire fight. Because the fight was about 45 minutes.
They could pop a fusion back out again. I honestly believe that they could do that. I mean, they're small and they're really crafty and they can go hide. Like, hiding is obviously something you can do in the universe. They've just shown that several times. Even the tiny dude, Trunks and Goten could probably take that guy out really easily. I don't think he was that strong.
I found a clip of it where he shows up. So Yamcha and Krillin are there. Pycon is there, fighting in Outer World. Here, I'll give you the clips so you can look too. There's Yamcha and Krillin at 16 seconds. I'm not sure if anybody else besides Yamcha and Krillin. I'm trying to remember if Tien might have been there. I think it was just Yamcha and Krillin. Would you bring Hercules?
Did he get here? He's not dead.
That second most powerful guy in that world, other world, besides Goku.
Found his way to other world.
Yeah, it's just.
I feel like we would run into the same situation. That, I mean, I don't know, because I don't think Hercules has key powers, and I feel like you would need those to be able to fight.
That's fair.
I would at least be okay with freaking Pycon. At least Pycon's got key powers.
Yeah. Okay, so who else would we have? We got. We'll put Pycon on the list. We've got 4 more spots.
Ventilation. Just don't drink too much water.
Would you rather have Cell or Frieza?
Well, that's what I was about to ask you before you I guess, took over the question, which I'm fine with.
Sorry.
That's no problem. I would like Cell, but there is a lot of caveats you would have to make, specifically with Cell, because Cell wouldn't be as appeasing as Frieza, because Frieza just wants to be alive. I think Cell could care less. So I mean, we were to bring Frieza onto the group as one of the spots, and we were to bring Cell in. Frieza and Cell have worked.
I don't think that Cell likes to being in the home for Infinite Losers. And Cell, I feel like, is honorable. Like, if they cut a deal with Cell, I don't think he would go back on it. I
don't know. Like, Cell seems like the type of dude that'd be more self-serving than Frieza. I mean, and I'm gonna be 100% real with you. The difference between Frieza and Cell is very small. Like, when it comes to their attitudes. So, I mean, yeah, you probably could convince Cell to join in with you. But, like, the only reason why I think Frieza really worked out is because Frieza unfortunately knows Goku. He's fought Goku several times. He despises the Saiyan, but knows what type of person he is. Like, deep down, I mean, we got that basically when Goku asked him a direct question about, I keep my promises and stuff like that. Cell, on the other hand, I feel like would backstab you if the opportunity arose, especially
given what? When he hits perfect Cell mode, like, he never tells a lie about anything. He never tells a lie anyway. There's no time. He's sneaky.
Backstabbing doesn't have to do with him telling a lie.
He's sneaky at the beginning, but he never like lies or goes against his word about anything.
I would like to see Cell, but for me, it's like, I don't really know. Because, like, for me, it's like, he has this thing with Gohan, and, like, I feel like that would get in the way of anything with him, because, like, I mean, he brought him back and he saw Gohan. I feel like he would go after him. Regardless of you telling him that we're on the same side, I feel like he'll go after Gohan. I feel like there is one, like, Gohan is his Achilles heel, and I don't think they could resolve that before the tournament became serious. At least with Frieza and Goku, Frieza's already fought both Goku and Vegeta and lost. So, like, twice by this point, and he's fought Goku and lost twice. So he understands that he has no way to beat Goku. So he wouldn't go after him. Not right now, anyway. Cell, on the other hand, I feel like wouldn't care. Like, regardless of everything else, Cell got killed by Gohan as a kid. Like, I feel like Cell would try to do everything in his power to kill him again. Like, it wouldn't go over well, more than likely, but still, I don't think Cell would care. I feel like like I said, it would take serious. I understand that he probably would be very negotiable, but I feel like it would take giving him something that he would really want, and I don't think his life back would be enough. I feel like he would be conniving to the point where like he'd try to get his life back in something else, and I don't think Gohan would be comfortable doing that. Whatever that would be, I don't know what he would want, and also with his life, because also they also gotta worry about the fact that like at least Frieza has another place to go and be, so he's not gonna be an immediate threat to danger to Earth. Cell is though. Cell's gonna be living on Earth, basically. And there's no guarantee that he won't try to destroy people and kill people and everything like that. There's no guarantee when he's brought back to life. Like,
well, he has instant transmission at that point, so he doesn't have to be on Earth.
I don't think so. Where else would he go? Because at least Frieza's got his organization and his group of galactic warriors. Cell's kind of alone. Like, the only thing he would have that would be considered family would be 17, 18, and they wouldn't be working with him either. That's the other thing too. Like, they would have issues with him too. At least definitely 18. Like 17 probably got over it. I had no idea, but 18 would definitely have problems with him. I mean, as cool as it was, and maybe that's why they didn't bring Cell, because they would have to, like, there's less people that would have to be okay with Frieza than there would probably be people who have to deal with Cell. And also think of the timeline situation too. It's like, who knows the damage bringing Cell back to life would do to that specifically.
That's fair, but I think Cell kept his word generally. I think that he wouldn't have any reason if he made a deal with them where they said like,
you don't think Cell would ask for more than his life?
If they said, well, maybe he would, but maybe it would be okay, like what they asked for. But let's say that the deal was, and Cell accepted it, that help us win the Tournament of Power and fight, which is your favorite thing to do because you're part Saiyan, and we will help you. We'll bring you back to life. We'll use the Dragon Balls to bring you back to life. I don't see a world where Cell is like, nah, that's no good. Like, but let's say he did. Like, let's say he accepted it. Then I don't see any world where he would have a good reason to say like, I'm gonna betray them and fuck Universe 7. Like it's gonna go to hell. Why would Cell agree to why would Cell try to destroy Universe 7 when he can come in there and live his life and stuff?
Why wouldn't he? His directive was to destroy the planet.
His directive was to destroy the planet, but like, it's so much more interesting to do it that way, isn't it?
I'm not arguing that Cell wouldn't be an interesting character to like have playing around. I'm just saying that there's a lot of problems with Cell versus Frieza. Because, like, I mean, and on top of that, this is another caveat. I just not thought about this too. The Saiyans, you brought the whole him having Saiyan DNA. There's a problem with that one because, like, we've seen throughout the entirety of the Dragon Ball Super Tournament of Power, Saiyans were breaking their limits. Cell could do that, and Cell could become a real problem doing that. I don't know if you want Cell breaking his limits. Like, would it be interesting for a story? Yeah. But at the same time, like, I feel like there's a lot more to worry about with Cell. Because I think Cell is a lot more of an unknown number versus Frieza. And yeah, Frieza could get stronger because Frieza has never trained a day in his life. So, I mean, yeah, Frieza can get stronger. But it's just like, I feel like there's a lot more control variable with Frieza. Because, like, Frieza specifically just what Goku did. After that, he'll move on with his life. I don't know, like, what it is, like, with Cell. I just feel like, I mean, maybe, and this is other thing too, maybe Cell is kind of become like Frieza. Maybe he just wants Gohan dead. Maybe that's enough. Like, maybe if you bring him back to life, those two will fight it out one more time. Maybe that'll be enough. I don't know. I just know. I know Cell is a gentleman. I get that. I understand that. But at the same time, like, I feel like, I don't know, something about Cell is just like, it's, to me, it's like, I don't know if I would trust him. I don't really trust Frieza. But Frieza kind of led up to some funny interactions. I think Cell would do the exact same thing. But, I don't know, it's just like, I'm hesitant. Like, bring him on, but I'm hesitant. I don't know what he will do, because even in the anime, he's got Piccolo's DNA in him too. So this is where his strategery comes from. So it's like that makes me nervous. It's like Cell makes me more nervous than Frieza, because at least Frieza can't break his limits during the tournament. Not that he did. I don't think he did at all.
Like, could totally break his limits during the tournament.
Well, I mean, he did break his limits. It didn't amount to anything. At least with freaking Cell, that is dangerous. He's already comparable to Super Saiyan 2. Him breaking his limits in the middle of the tournament, you want to talk about a-holy power-ups, Cell would be the epitome.
Cell would be so fantastic, though. It would be so cool to see Cell breaking his limit that way.
At that point, what's to stop Cell from breaking his promise? Because nobody can stop him.
Because he dies if they die. Frieza didn't seem to care that because he's such a little.
That's assuming that Cell doesn't already have a plan to leave the universe before it happens. So it's like, I mean, granted,
before what happens? They lose and the universe gets eliminated by someone.
Well, in his mind, Gohan died too. He's good. I'm assuming that he's really upset with Gohan. I'm assuming that. I know I am. But with that assumption being made, I feel like that would be enough of a reason for him to do that. He killed Gohan, he killed Goku, he killed Vegeta, he killed Krillin, he killed all the Z fighters that cause him problems. Like, basically, yeah, he's dead. But so are they. Like, I don't think
Blood would go for that.
I don't think Cell cares about his life, as I think you're assuming that he does.
No, but I think Cell has Saiyan blood, and I think he loves fighting, and he has ambition. He's always had ambition. He's ambitions to be perfect, and he's starting to learn that he doesn't have a limit, like when he became Super Saiyan 2 or like the Cell equivalent.
I don't trust Cell enough. I'm not saying I trust Frieza.
This is gonna sound weird, but there's like too much fun to be had to give yourself up over that. Like when you could work to be better than them, which is more the Saiyan way.
But do you really I mean, do you really want Cell running amok and not having a controlled variable? Because at that point, Cell coming back at this current level, there's no way to control him. Once he's brought back to life, that's over. The world's doomed. I know you believe that Cell would just leave everything alone. I don't believe
that Cell would leave anything alone, but I think it would Goku would freaking love it if Cell was decided the world was doomed.
I hate that you're right.
Right? Goku would be like, yeah, another tough guy to fight.
I hate you're right.
Show my new Super Saiyan Blue form.
I hate that you're right. I hate that. The gym do not like that. But for me, I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I mean, bring him in. I feel like he's such an unknown variable that it makes me nervous. It's like, he's like 10 times the Frieza unknown variable equivalent. It's basically what he is. I feel like he's that much worse.
He'd be a really good fighter to lose to Jiren, to show how strong Jiren was.
Hey, would Cell absorbing people, would that be considered death? Would that be considered killing them and then he'll get disqualified?
I don't know. It would depend on what was most fun to what's his name? I think basically he made all his decisions on what seemed the most fun to him. You know what I mean? So if he decided it was fun, then he wouldn't disqualify him.
I guess. Again, I think he's such an unknown variable. I'm more nervous about him than I was with Frieza, because at least with Frieza, I know that there was a variable to control him. But Cell, there ain't. I mean, as much as I really want Gohan to be that guy, he won't be, and I don't know how strong Gohan Beast is. I'm assuming, based on the fact that he was able to fight Goku and Vegeta with their most powerful forms, on equal footing. means that he's up there with Ultra Instinct Goku, but I don't know that, and and it's like I don't like again. It's like I don't know. Well, like ultimately, because like it's not so before we end here because we're actually over.
Well, I have one more question before we stop. First of all, do you want to put Cell on the Dream Team or not?
I mean, put him on there. I just have really nervous. I had a point I was trying to make and I completely lost it. I will probably move on from that. Oh no, it was just about like Cell having. It's not just Cell isn't just one Saiyan. He's like two. So two Saiyans breaking their limit at the same time inside one body just scares me because like the Saiyans are constantly doing it. So I mean, it like honestly, I pretty much Cell it probably read a transformation. Like, I'm almost certain he would read a transformation like in the tournament. That would scare me on someone else because like, oh lord, if Cell does not become a good guy, we're all boned. It's like
that would be so fun. It'd be so fun to have more Cell time and to see him fight something other than like a Saiyan in his final form.
His final form, whatever that is. Maybe I don't know. I just like to me like he's such an uncontrollable variable. Okay, but what was your question before we end here?
Okay, so is Cell you're putting Cell on the Dream Team?
Yes, but he makes me nervous. I just want that to be known.
All right, so here's my more controversial question. Like I feel like I know what you're going to answer, but I'm just throwing it out here. Would you put Dende on the team?
I'm gonna go with no, mainly because I feel like Dende is a cheat, and I don't think the Zenos, would like that. You say why? Mainly because Dende could revive people and also revive the energy. I don't think they will want that on the during the tournament. And on top of that, Dende being there would be the biggest like white light, and I'm being literal here too. He'd be the biggest white light that everybody else. Nobody could stop him. But no one could stop Jiren, because when Jiren sees that it's happening, because he will, Dende's dead. Or at least knocked out. Like at that point, Dende didn't serve much more of a purpose, other than like maybe healing one person. I mean, and God forbid it'd be Goku. If it was Goku and then Jiren saw that,
what if at the beginning of the fight, when they were planning on fighting as a team, right? What if Gohan said like, "We're all going to protect Dende, and Dende's going to protect us, like White Mage style," and the people that actually stayed with him, I know like Frieza was the last to take off, which was kind of funny. But like let's say Roshi, Tien, Gohan, and Piccolo all stick back to protect him.
I honestly think that wouldn't be enough because the moment Jiren noticed that, whatever they were doing,
would Jiren even care at first? Would Jiren care enough to try to go through them and waste some of his stamina?
I don't think it would have been enough. I don't think him getting rid of them wouldn't exhaust him, not even in the slightest. I don't think the stamina loss that he would take would even be negligible enough. I think he'd just probably stare at them and knock Dende off. He probably wouldn't even bother with Gohan. Only Gohan, Piccolo, and everybody was protecting him. He'd probably only bother with them if they wanted to get in his way. And okay, I'll leave Jiren alone and use somebody else. No, Toppo was too up in his own ass. Dispo, I think Dispo is enough to knock Dende off.
Dispo's enough to knock Dende. I mean, almost anybody in that is enough to knock Dende off.
I understand. I think Dende's too much of a target.
Like, if Gohan and like the team I mentioned decided to protect Dende and have that be their core mission, like we're gonna make a party here. We protect Dende. Dende heals us. Would he be worth more than like? Oh, I don't know, Krillin.
No, I'd rather have that extra fighter versus like and healer, because on top of that, I don't think the Xenos would enjoy that. I think they prefer like the life and death situation. Dende being there and just being a healer takes that away, because like not even life and death, because like if you kill them you get disqualified. The whole idea that I think the Xenos were enjoying because people were being pushed to their limit. If Dende was there healing the Z fighters, there wouldn't be any of that. I think, in fact, the only people that would probably receive any boost from that would be Gohan, Goku, and Vegeta. If those three happened to be near Dende, and Dende happened to notice they needed a rebuff or whatever like that, I don't think the Xenos would even allow it. Dende, Dende is also the guardian of the Earth. He dies, the Dragon Balls go away. I mean, I understand the universe is gone anyway, but still, the whole idea that
Which would make Cell want to defend Dende.
What?
Which would make Cell want to defend Dende.
Still, I don't think the Xenos would allow him to be a part of that. Even realizing, because like I mean, Dende. I honestly imagine Dende saying, "I'm not much of a fighter, but I can be a healer." Nobody in the other universes even had an equivalent for me to even consider like, because like honestly, Dende would have to provide some form of entertainment. I don't think he would be able to, because all he really be doing is rushing to somebody's aid. Oh, I got you, heal. Oh, I got you, heal. Oh, Vegeta, I got you. And it's like that's all Dende would be doing. I think Dende would get exhausted, probably by the.
I don't think Dende would have to heal that much. Most of the characters didn't run out of stamina at all. Like who ran out of stamina?
Goku, Vegeta did. I think Gohan did at some point. Frieza got his like.
I don't think Gohan ran out of stamina. Roshi did. Piccolo didn't. Goku did, and Vegeta did fighting Jiren.
Again, I don't even think that. I don't think that Xenos would like him down there.
I guess Frieza ran out of stamina, but again, mostly from like the end game. 17 and 18 won't run out of stamina at all. Krillin didn't run out of stamina. Piccolo didn't run out of stamina. I don't think Gohan did. I don't think Tien did.
I don't even remember how Tien got knocked out, but
Tien outed himself carrying somebody down with him. Remember, he grabbed him and carried him out. Jumped off with him.
I believe you, but I don't remember.
Okay. It was during the assassin thing. Like he grabbed the assassin or something like that and carried him out.
Ultimately, like, if the Xenos think it's fun and they allow him in there, I mean, sure, but also Dende is a freaking liability. Even with Gohan, Piccolo, Master Roshi, Tien, Krillin, all in Frieza, or Cell and Frieza guarding him. Honestly, being honest, I think Cell and Frieza would like boogie on out because they're you're cramping my style and go their own directions. With those,
so I could see Cell getting distracted from defending Dende because he doesn't really care.
But like the core that I just mentioned about Cell and Frieza, because like, they're all doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Even with that being said, like what you're doing, what you're really doing, Gohan's is a very important part of the entire thing. Having Gohan there protecting a lack for a better word, very weak animal, isn't the best use of Gohan's abilities. Like right at that moment, I really don't think. Not only if Dende was a real danger and Gohan was the only one able to do it, maybe. I feel like that's a waste for Gohan to just be there. I don't think Piccolo needs to be anywhere else but protecting Dende. Master Roshi could be like the same thing. Tien, most people like they don't really necessarily need to be anywhere else, but maybe you're helping each other out. I think Gohan being there would probably be a waste of time, but who the heck knows? But
So, final word. Do we bring Dende or not? I'm gonna leave it up to you.
I want to say leave Dende because I feel like it's too much of a hassle trying to figure out if they would even allow him down there.
Yeah, we can talk about this next time, but I want to go over Oop too. I'm curious what you think about bringing Oop.
Oop wasn't even. No, they did slightly talk about him. they didn't mention his name. They just said there was some kid out there really strong.
Mm-hmm.
I guess speaking of that before you end the air, next week is Dragon Ball Z. I guess we'll be bringing this topic back up again.
Yeah.
With a little more context, but I guess then we'll talk about that.
I'm having fun going over the Dream Team. We've got Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Piccolo, 17, 18, Pikkon, and Cell so far. One of the next big questions along with Oob is going to be, do we want Cell and Frieza, or are we just picking one?
I mean, I can answer the Cell thing right now. I guess if we had to pick between Cell and Frieza, as much as Cell makes me nervous, I would probably prefer Cell.
Yeah,
because
or Frieza. You too.
I would prefer Cell over Frieza for a few reasons. Because well, we know what Frieza's like, but we don't know what Cell would be like. I guess in a quote unquote amicable situation, he still makes me nervous because I don't know like what he. I think what makes me nervous is because like at least with Frieza, he has the personality type that we all know about. We do not know Cell's personality. I mean, we only got like a little bit of it. Like he's very conniving, not conniving, but he's very strategic. He doesn't do things unless they benefit him. But at the same time, he's still got that Saiyan part of his DNA in his structure. So who the heck knows what that does to his personality? And on top of that, with the anime only thing, with him having a part of Krillin and Piccolo in his DNA, like as well, especially if we're using specifically the anime version of Cell versus the manga version of Cell. It just like to me, like he makes it messy, and I guess it'd be funny to see what he would do. I suspect a lot of characters that Frieza was struggling with would probably be long gone. The Cell was there, so I mean, and maybe Cell would have been a lot more helpful against Jiren. Who the heck knows? But I guess with that, we are 2 minutes over. So with that, see you guys next in 2 weeks. After the Switch 2 launch, so we'll see you guys then. I probably won't be saying anything more about Nintendo related things after that, so see you guys next week for Dragon Ball Z talk. Good night.
See you.